Welcome to our video series on career options in finance.
This is our first video of the 5-part series. So I'm sure many of you guys are asking yourself, what is finance? And that's a question that I asked myself as well when I was exploring finance as a possible major. To answer that question, we're going to pay a visit to a distinguished professor in our finance department here, Professor Jim Johannes, who's worked in the industry and also devoted much of his time to research in the field. And he'll be able to give us his perspective and take on what finance is.
Finance is about the analytical side of making investment decisions that both build wealth and help you preserve wealth once you have it. There are a lot of different areas of finance that we could talk about, and all of them are a little bit different, but they all share a couple of very basic principles. The first one is risk and reward. The idea is that if you take risk, you need to get some extra reward. If you don't get the reward for taking risk, you're going to end up worse off than you started, and that's not a good thing. The second thing is the time value of money. $1 tomorrow is not worth the same thing as $1 today. Another really cool area of finance, I think, is the idea of efficient markets. We like to believe that in an efficient market where everybody shares information, that if they all act in their own private self-interest, that they'll be better off and so will society. Unfortunately, that's not usually the case. There are sort of 4 different areas of finance where we use those principles. The first one is what everybody thinks finance is about, investing in stocks and bonds. That's really not what finance is about. We call stock market equity markets, we call bond markets fixed income markets, and many people think that you become a finance major just to learn how to pick stocks, pick bonds, put portfolios together and stuff like that. We can certainly, train you to do that kind of thing, but it turns out that you really don't need many people to manage $100 million. The most popular part of the finance major, where most of our students go, is in corporate finance. Corporate finance types work in companies, and they address issues like which market should we be in, which projects should we invest in, how should we fund those projects. These are called corporate financial analysts. That's where most of the jobs are. The sexiest area of finance is investment banking. These are sort of the high priests of finance. The investment banking types do things like help companies raise funds. Suppose you decide that you need a merger partner. You want to either integrate vertically or horizontally. Well, what company might make a good merger partner or acquisition target for you? And what should you pay for that company in terms of your own stock or cash for their stock or something? Well, you go to investment bankers and they do the analytics of that to help you figure it out. The last area of finance is commercial banking. Commercial banking is a little different than investment banking in that investment bankers don't use their own money. They go get money from somebody else and send it to another party. Bankers actually use their own money in the sense that they raise money from depositors and then they lend that money out to people who need it. So you try to get money from people who have it and don't need it and give it to people that don't have it and need it. That's called financial intermediation. That's commercial banking.
So I hope this video has gotten you excited about finance and given you a better idea for what it's all about. Now let's take a look at what you can actually do with finance as a major. More specifically, let's look at some job functions and unique aspects of different career options within finance that Professor Johannes mentioned.